Hello there, it's Stuart here, and I want to shoot you through a final video to kind of talk you through the final constraint to building a leverage business model. And of all the things I speak to about advice businesses, particularly those who have got a good stream of clients or are on the way, have got a service model and they don't hate, but are still constrained, the thing that they talk about is resourcing. You know, the people thing. People are hard. I don't know how to systematize. Well, let's solve that. Let's solve that in the next few minutes. How's that sound? Stay tuned. Of all the things that frustrate me about advice businesses or leverage, it's breaking through one particular ceiling or mindset shift that most businesses have a problem with. There's a bunch of different ways to explain this. I'm just going to explain it really simply. There are 4 phases an advice business go through. Startup is where you're kicking off. You get excited, but your main oxygen, the thing you need to get, is revenue. Most businesses at this point are just out there looking to market and get clients on board. At some point you break through and you kind of get stability, right? At this point, if you're smart, you switch from revenue focus to a profit focus. Usually means bringing on board the right kind of clients and making sure that you are solving problems over and over again, or the same kind of problems. The third section, if you get through this, you start to get a bit of profit in the business. Well, now the constraint is time. This is where you need to free yourself up and make sure the clients you're bringing on board are increasingly taking less time by delegating, outsourcing, automating, basically getting stuff off your plate and focusing more on your genius. And if you solve this problem, you get to the top level, which is scale or leveraged, where you can remove yourself from the business, have the role you want, live the lifestyle you want, and do what you want. Here's the thing, a lot of businesses fail to break through that stability, success, and even scale piece, and they fail to do so because they just can't resource the business up. Either they bring in people, but they don't seem to be able to get the team to work together, or they know they should systematize, but they just can't get the software to work. Well, I'm gonna give you 2 strategies right now. If you get this right, it'll make it easier. And by the way, if you get this right earlier, it'll work better. Honestly, you don't want to be stuck bouncing up against this wall if you're already at capacity and realizing you need to build the business differently. So here's the 2 things you need. You need systems and to leverage talent. Let's talk about them one by one. Now, systems. You know you need an ops manual, right? Well, I'm not going to tell you that because ops manuals get written, they take ages, and then they go in a drawer. Here's the problem. If you want to know why ops manuals are not great, go to the internet. Google, how do I tie a bow tie? Give it a go. Go to YouTube, do the same thing, get a video, and do the same thing again. You see, we don't want to build an ops manual, we want to build a training system powered by video of you showing people how to do things. And if we get this right, using something we call a system for designing a system, you can create a way that you can put these videos off to your team and get them to map the systems for you. And this is before we go anywhere near technology. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is try to build operations manual inside workflow management tools. Build it before. You do not want to have your training manual inside someone else's proprietary software, not just because it's hard to get out of, but because it means people need to learn the software before they can learn how your business works. That's just too many barriers at the same time. Here's the second thing. You need an operating system for your practice. You need to develop a culture. We've got one based on 9 words that sit on the wall and we ask our team to sort of live up to. Really simple. You need a rhythm, whether it's a Monday morning meeting, a Friday morning debrief, a daily 15-minute check-in, a 90-day planning, a strategic planning process, just a way, a language that your people can use to work together to get things done so you deliver a workflow-driven, project-driven business rather than task-driven one. Here's the problem with a task-driven business. You end up feeding tasks down rather than telling people, here's how I want it done, or here's a framework for getting it done. That is a guaranteed route to constraining yourself from day one. Finally, if you add in some pre-planning, as in book out your years in advance, put the holidays in your diary, set up a way that people can book time in the right slots, you get to focus on what matters, and as your business grows, you get to do the CEO work, the specialist advisor work, instead of the whole trying to keep it together. Of all the pieces to get right, if you can set yourself up in small doses along the way, then you're going to be able to move through these 4 phases faster and not get caught in the space that a lot of businesses, if they get out of that revenue trap, do, which is how do I scale this thing without having to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week to get it done. You want to know the real trick to this? At the beginning, as a startup, you start up wanting to be a person of value. If you flip over to the next level, stability, you want to be a person of value to specific clients. The next level up is you want to build a team of value. The bit at the end is you build a system of value, a business and a combination of roles, processes that enables people to get the same result or even better result than they would if they were working directly with you, but you can be out of the picture and it still runs. Now isn't that what we all want from a business, advice or otherwise? So, resourcing. I think one of the key things is know where you're at, know what you need, and make sure you're doing little pieces along the way. That was kind of a run through of 3 core areas that really underpin a leverage model. And if you get this right and change your sort of view, you're going to be able to build an advice business of the future. And in doing so, some of the things that we're working on in the program is enabling people like you, advisors, whether you're a broker, accountant, or a financial advisor, to impact more people, to help them make smart decisions in their businesses, in their investment strategies, in their life, and impact more people. As Richard Arnold said when I was over in Silicon Valley last year, he said, the future of advice is working with 1,000 clients at $100 a month and getting them better results than we do today. And the way to do that is get better at the way that you attract people in and motivate them, develop a service model that will scale as you go, and finally, get really smart about resourcing it up, whether that's insourced or outsourced. I hope you've got a bit out of this. I hope you've got a bit of insight into kind of the world I'm in and what we're doing. You've got a couple of options now. If you've heard it and you're going to go out and implement it, please do come back, circle back, just drop me an email, because I love to hear people's stories of implementing this stuff. And if there's an element I can help with, more than happy to share with you a bit more detail on one of the strategies. Alternatively, as you know, I run a program called the Leverage Advice Firm. It is a great community program built on great content that goes up to in depth. It's very much about the how we spoke here. It's also based on getting great support. So the ability to work with myself and the team so we can take that content and tell you how to implement and make it relevant to you and your business. And finally, a great community of businesses who are thinking the same way and heading the same direction. If you think you might be right for this and this is the journey you're on, I'd love for you to connect. We'll have a 15-minute chat. And really, we can talk a bit about what you're trying to do and find out if and how a leveraged advice firm or a leverage model might work for you. If you'd like that, it's really simple. There should be a button in this email somewhere. Jump in there, click on the link, book a time, and we will grab a 15-minute chat. And frankly, if it sounds about right for us both, we'll move it on and we'll take you through something called the Strategy Ignition Session, which is kind of give you a bit of insight, not only into the strategies that will work, but a bit of an insight into some of the methodology that we have on the program that works so well in engaging with clients. That's it from me. Look, I hope you've got something out of this. If you have, let me know. Otherwise, have a great week. I'll speak to you soon.